the coming into the game, I believe Chicago was leading the league in forced turnovers. I think 18 a game. Our 17 turnovers were a big issue in this game. We didn't shoot well. Um, Defensively, we had struggles, particularly in the fourth. But through it all, we did a few good things. I see some growth in some areas. It certainly is not going to show in the final result, but I'm going to need to look at the film all the way to give you a total synopsis of this whole thing. There was a couple times in the second half where we had it to 5 or 6, and we maybe even had it to 8. And there was either a turnover, a foul, some kind of a miscue that gave them life at the other end, and then they were always able to recapture the momentum. So no excuses. We just got to play better.
Bruce was just talking about how you guys couldn't play up to the speed you typically like to in this game. What can you do to speed a game up if another team is playing so slow like that?
Well, get stops is the number one thing to speed the game up. But we got seduced a little bit into their pace, their tempo. Look, that's a hard-playing veteran team that was really really motivated tonight for a lot of reasons. And look, our guys played hard too. We just didn't play as well.
12 for 46 from deep, a couple miscues in the fourth from long range. Did you like the threes in general that you guys took today?
Well, I like the majority of them. I have to look at every one to give you an exact count. I think what I'm going to see when we look at this is that the quality of our threes could have been better if we had been deeper in the paint more often. So that's something we'll look at. But look, on nights when you're not shooting it well, your defense got to hold you in. And we they only had 6 threes, and their 2 stars make a lot of 2s, but there were a lot of situations where they were in the bonus and just walked to the free throw line, and we've got to look closely at that. Those are correctable and avoidable, and some of those are before somebody even caught the ball. So that's an area where we can get better, and this was a big boys game. This was a physical, a lot on the line, divisional, all that kind of stuff. We got to learn from it.
Bulls had a lot of isolation buckets in that fourth quarter, and that's what their stars are good at. But in those moments, do you feel like it's a guarding your yard issue, too late of help issue? What do you feel like went wrong in the stretch there?
Yeah, we'll look at it. I mean, some of it, I think we can address with coverage, with different coverage things. But generally speaking, we're challenging our guys to sit down and guard one-on-one, and appropriate help is one thing. But we don't. If we do a lot of double teaming and running around, we're going to give up open threes and more offensive rebounds. And so, I got to look at it. But that's where the rubber met the road in this game.
You mentioned obviously pace at the beginning. At some point, you're going to have to spend a lot of time in the half court. I mean, what did you not like in general about half court execution? Obviously, the 17 turnovers are a problem. But what was your overall just take or thought at this point on how you think this team operated in a lot of half court possessions?
Well, we'll be a good half court team because Ty's a great point guard. We have shooting, and we have our big guys do a good job of screening and rolling. So I'm not worried. I'm not concerned that we can't play in the half court, but we're built for speed, and so that's even when the other team is scoring, we can get it out quicker. We can still get the ball over half court in 2 seconds, and that does a couple of different things. It gives you more time on the clock to execute and create maybe an additional problem or 2 for the defense, and it just keeps us in an aggressive state. So that's going to be an emphasis for sure.
You addressed it to some extent already, but if DeRozan and Levine go, I think 12 of 36 from the floor, but they end up getting 18 at the line. A lot of young guys getting those assignments. Aaron, Andrew, obviously Ben, as well as Bruce. What did you like about how they handled that? And I guess obviously there's still the foul piece to it, but what did you like about how they took
Well, I got
those
to look at the
challenges?
fouls. I mean, I'm not going to get into a thing with the officials. Don't try to bait me into that. I mean, it's just, it's a league now where if you use your hands, you're gonna hear a whistle, and so we've got to avoid those things, and we've got to tighten up coverages, and in situations where they're trying to create switches, there are things we can do to prevent that from happening. So we've got to look at all that.
All right, fellas, I guess just for both of you guys, 6 of 26 in the fourth, I think 4 of 16 from three. Just what sort of started going wrong for the offense there? Obviously, they were slowing you down all game, but what made things go wrong, particularly in that period?
Honestly, I think we just missed shots. We had great looks. I mean, I had a wide open blur three from Ty. I missed it. We had great looks. Shots just wasn't falling tonight, and I don't think we played up to our speed, like our pace wise out there. We could have been a little faster, but I just missed shots. It happens.
I guess, Ty, did you feel the same way? Did you think a lot of those shots were good shots, what you wanted, just didn't go down?
Yeah, I would say we shot the shots we want, just missed them, and they got stops too. Caruso's obviously a good defender, so we feel like looking back, we have to go watch the film again, but feel like we got a lot of shots that we want, just didn't go for us tonight.
Just in general, this is the first team that's been able to slow you down and force you to play mostly a half-court pace. What did you feel like you did well in that circumstance, and what would you like to have back, I guess?
I mean, they denied me full court pretty much majority of the second half. They did a good job of it, but we just got to do a better job of getting into our stuff. We missed a lot of open looks, and just better. We turned it over a few times in transition. Torrey stole the one from me. The one Drew skipped across the court to double A and fell out of his hands. We were poor, early in that fourth quarter of taking care of the ball, and that led to easy buckets for them. And then I just didn't get enough stops when I needed to.
Bruce, you said you guys didn't play up to your speed. What can you do to speed the game up when the Bulls play so slow and try to keep it that way?
Really just get stops and get out, and then we got to get the ball out faster to Ty. As he said, they were pressing him the whole game. So really just get the ball in his hands and let him play make.
You guys like the looks you got from three, even though they weren't falling today?
I do. I mean, I thought we got a lot of good ones. I was 1 for 8, but I would probably say 5 or 6 of them for me were good looks. Just didn't go. But yeah, I feel like overall we got some good looks. Just didn't fall tonight. They got stops when they needed to. They forced some tough ones late, but I think for the majority of the game we got ones that we wanted to get.
Ty, you talked about just getting stops yourself. Obviously, you ended up on DeRozan a couple times down the stretch there. Just how did you kind of get caught up in that switch, basically? Obviously he's a veteran, scored a lot of points all these years. I mean, just what makes him just a tough cover?
Yeah, I think he was just getting downhill. I just wasn't doing a good job of cutting him off, getting the stop. I just like to give us 1 or 2, and it would have changed up the complexity of the game, but wasn't able to do that tonight, and just got to be better on that end.
Bruce, obviously, Levine and DeRozan, you go in knowing that's obviously the two key pieces of the scouting report. I mean, I think you guys held them, pretty good as far as shots was concerned. They missed a lot of them, but they also managed to draw a lot of fouls. Being defended by some of those younger guys. Obviously, you've taken those kind of assignments a lot. But what's the challenge of making sure you challenge those guys, making them work, and not putting them to the line?
Yeah, you just gotta show your hands. I just say that they're superstar players. They're gonna get calls, even if it's calls we don't like. Really just show your hands. We're trying to be physical with them. It's not much we can do if the refs calling a game like that. So we just got to show our hands and not foul. The refs were great tonight.
Let you guys run at all. What do you feel like you guys did? They kind of forced you in a half-court game. What do you feel like you guys did well in that circumstance? And what do you think did not go so well?
Yes, yeah, we want that one back. Kind of played their game instead of our game, I would say, tonight. So,
What can you do to get running when a team is trying to bog you down like that?
I mean, just get the ball out quick, get stops and rebound. Like them crashing the glass definitely slowed us down and our ability to get out and run.
You want to get into that early offense stuff. Like, are they just in the way? Is it harder to do when the game is slow anyway? What is the challenge of that?
Yeah, I guess the challenge would be finding a way to, even if a team locks up the game like that, finding a way for us to still be us. Yeah.
Promise I'm not trying to bait for an official's question on this, but obviously you guys, covering Levine and DeRozan, you guys I think held them combined to 12 of 36, and obviously there is, I think they got total, I think, of 18 at the line. What's the challenge like? What do you feel like you guys did well at contesting what they were doing, and what's the challenge like to defend, particularly DeRozan, without fouling?
I mean, yeah, like you said, I think we actually did a pretty decent job on those two tonight. It's just the rebounding and then fouling off of those and fouling the other guys. And yeah, I mean, just it's a game we went back. Yeah.
I think 12 of 46 from three. How did you guys feel about the threes that you were getting, the looks that you get? Was it just a situation just not going in?
Yeah,
or
just
how-
not going in. We got good looks, got good shooters on his team. No one will make them in the next game. So, yeah, we're not worried about that.
Offensively, when it clicks like it did the first two games, kind of the first half tonight too, just why it seems like any combination of five you guys put out there can work when it does. What's the chemistry there?
Just ball movement, trusting each other, playing for your teammates.